Okay, there's a bigger money on the street. We're talking about $15 billion. That's a lot of money going by today's dollar value. So this is the deal reached a couple of days ago with the Indians by Nigeria's Minister of State for Petroleum Resources. The Indians are now, in exchange for this money and other oil imports from Nigeria, are expected to help us midstream, upstream, exploration and production, refining capabilities, and that is what we'll be talking about. Dolapo Oni is the head of research at EcoBank sitting here in Lagos, downtown Lagos, to talk to us. Dolapo, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
In the last couple of days and weeks, you seem to be more inclined to discuss currency conundrum, isn't it?
Well, yes, because
everything boils down to money.
At the end of the day, yes, and oil is a very important aspect of that for us in Nigeria. So
yes,
you find myself talking both ways.
I'm sure you work for a bank, as it were, but then I'm sure every day you must be listening to your colleagues discussing the state of the naira and the one step forward, two steps backward for the dollar. Give us a sense of this for now before we talk the big money.
Well, I mean, it's still the situation hasn't changed yet. The market is still very fragmented, and I'm talking about the FX market now. And as a result, you have various rates, I mean, operating within the economy. And I mean, you keep hearing various, and then there are also various developments as well, too, that I think are going to have significant impact on the rates. On the negative side, the decision that Naira MasterCards or Visa cards can no longer be used by Nigerians outside the country essentially will also force all that demand now to shift to the BDCs and to the parallel market, which may try to push rates up. But on the positive side, the fact that you have a Forcados pipeline coming on stream, and again, that's a very key source of FX because most of the Nigerian independents are plugged into that pipeline. Most of those Nigerian independents will have to then, as soon as they start receiving their revenues, try to catch up on their loans, try to catch up on their royalty payments and various other payments to the government, which they've not been able to make this year. A lot of that dollars will start flowing back into the economy, which may then boost FX supply locally as well. So it's a mixed bag, but I think by and large it should be positive as the months go by.
By and large, without inflows, which is liquidity, the markets, FX markets, currency will remain fragmented. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because you can't spend what you don't have, and you can't manage what you don't have. You can only manage what you have.
Exactly.
So $15 billion is coming from the Indians. Thank you very much. We need to say to those folks. Were you aware? Was the street, was the industry aware that this deal was coming? Was it a shot in the dark? How did we walk into this deal? I never heard about it. I never saw it coming.
Exactly.
Did you?
Exactly. I mean, after we saw the China deal, it was only logical that they were going to go to other countries and try and see what they could get. I didn't expect that we had started discussions to this level with India. I find it really interesting, but I think it's also been long coming because, I mean, if you recall a lot of conversations we've had in the past, we've always said it that, look, Nigeria needs to replace US with India as its major crude oil customer. And to do that, we're talking about signing long-term contracts, you know, for crude cargoes. And I think this essentially is a fulfillment of that expectation that we've had for a while. So it's been long coming. The Indians love our crude oil. They've always bought our crude oil. They've always been looking to increase the amount of cargoes they can get from Nigeria. So I think it's been something that's been in the works. And it also pays them that it's coming at this particular time when crude oil prices are quite low. So they may get some benefits in terms of pricing.
Yeah, in terms of what Nigeria plans to get in exchange for this money, do you think this is well thought out? Do you think we've crossed the T's, dot the I's? Do you think everybody was carried along as far as this deal was concerned, even though at the MOU or the deal is still being knocked together, as it were? December will have the further details, and perhaps it's not going to come into operation until next year. Whether we like it or not, President Buhari will have to sign off on it.
Yeah, and I think let me say something. I think one thing needs to be said. I don't believe that there will be a $15 billion transfer to us at once. I don't expect that that will actually happen. $15 billion will probably be paid over a period of time or over a set of tranches. That's one. And then I also think as well too that at the moment what we are trying to trade off or what we're getting is, apart from the $15 billion again, which I still need to talk about, is the transfer of know-how. The Indians have very interesting and very strong, very good refinery technology. They've developed some of the most complex refineries in the world. They have a lot of refining capacity. They have the largest refinery in the world. So they have quite a lot of know-how on the refinery space, which I think we could benefit from. They could help us with all our plans to develop modular refining capacity or maintain the existing refineries or even upgrade the existing refineries. So that's a key area that I'm hoping we can really draw from in this particular arrangement. But again, back to the $15 billion, I think another aspect, which is a bit of a worry, is the fact that if that money is coming in now, I hope that it's...
Okay, Dolapo, I guess there's frozen in there. The internet connections just broke off slightly. Dolapo Oni is the head of energy research at EcoBank. Dolapo, thanks for getting back on the line. Please go ahead.
Okay, good. Thank you. I don't know why it stopped, but basically I'm saying with the $15 billion, I think two things are critical. Number one, we need to have a clear plan of where that money is going to be spent. Because don't forget, the moment we get this money, we have several months of shipment of crude oil during which we will not be receiving any revenues. And during that period, that money must be spent judiciously. I'm hoping it's not just going into payment of salaries or all kinds of recurrent expenditure. It has to be clearly spent into infrastructure. One. Then number two also is the fact that we also should expect that, of course, the Indians will get their pound of flesh. They will demand for production volumes to be met. So disruptions in the Niger Delta will have to be addressed.